The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, y'all know we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm glad when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We made it. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
I know this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM streaming live on KYOKradio.org. And I got to tell you, it feels surreal to be sitting in this chair after everything that jumped off yesterday before we got off the air. I mean, I thought the worst thing I was going to have to deal with yesterday was a fire alarm in the building, and we had to evacuate the building. Was able to get back in and restart the show and get back on, only to have my brother and colleague David Grubb ask me, "Did you hear what's going on in Washington?" I had not. He said the Capitol building had been breached. Breached? You talking about? Yeah, the protesters for Donald Trump have breached the Capitol building. They are inside the Capitol building. And then I start pulling up my news sources, and those are protesters. Those are rioters and domestic terrorists because they're tearing stuff up. You know, remember how the poor buildings and businesses and communities and what have you, the nation's house was literally being ransacked and attacked by our own people. And it kept getting worse from there. Shots fired at the Capitol, only to find out that a woman had been killed inside the Capitol building. 3 other people also died due to medical emergencies as a part of that event that will not soon be forgotten. So I'm sorry, I can't just jump in and talk sports right this minute, because that is an indelible impression that will be left on my mind, in my mind, for a long time to come. I will always think I was sitting here in this air chair on Wednesday, January the 7th, 2021, when all that started happening. I will always remember that I was talking with David Grubb, my brother, host of Hard in the Paint, writer for CrescentCitySports.com, when all that happened. And I was sincere when I said, be careful. I know a lot of folks are like, well, that was happening in D.C. Why were you telling everybody to go home and to stay safe and all that? Because there were people who like to be a part of the crowd, even if they're not in the crowd. And there were incidents on planes. There were incidents up in other cities and other states as a result of what they were seeing going on in DC. A lot more questions and answers today, but I will give some credit to our Congress people for finishing the job. I will definitely give them credit for finishing the job. And I will say, it's one thing to get elected, Garrick. It's another thing to have your life literally put on the line because people didn't like the way things went.
You are correct, sir.
I mean, and I keep hearing, oh, Black Lives Matter this and Black Lives Matter that. I was protesting with Black Lives Matter because we're being killed and brutalized unjustly.
Right.
I wasn't out there running around because I didn't like who got elected.
Right. Yeah, you're right, man. It's a big difference, man. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. You know, having a cause and doing things for the cause, two different stories. Two different stories. Glad to have you on, man.
It's good to be here, man. I'm good, man. I'm good.
And it ain't a somber day because, brother, I tell you something, man. You are one of the most, just positive dudes in the world, man. I'm for real. And I know you have downs, but, bro, you find a way to stack them up and stand on top of them and make them up.
Man, I tell you what, man. It's there's a lesson in everything.
Yeah.
Everything you go through. So no matter what the situation is, you know, there's always a silver lining, and there's power in positive thinking.
Yeah.
And people get that, you know, in playing ball and being a professional athlete. And one of the things that I try to explain to people who probably have never been in that space is that if you have a bad play, you got to have a short memory.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, if your memory isn't short, that one play that was bad can leak into the other plays. And before you know it, you got a bad game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn, you got to learn how to have a short memory, because by the time you get up to the line for the next play, it's a new day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to give yourself, you know, a couple of minutes just to kind of sulk a little bit. But after that, man, it's back to work. It's back to work. You know what I'm saying?
Got to. Again, we got Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break. We're going to get into it in a minute. Let me go ahead and take our first break. Garrick, we'll come back and let's dive into this process, if you will, and what did happen right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM segment, brought to you by Lily and the Tax Doctor, right here on the lunch break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
All right, y'all. This is that lunch break, and we're on it on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. I got my brother like no other, Garrick Jones, joining me here on the show. And Garrick, a lot of us sent letters in.
Yeah.
I got a response back from Jamie, and I thought I was talking to a politician because what I asked and what he answered was two different things. And I was just like, wait a minute. Did you read my email or did you just hit that automatic reply and that was the answer? I mean, if he hadn't put my name in it, I would have thought like it was a robot. I wasn't even talking to somebody for real.
Right.
And sure enough, we get the word that they brought in another New England Tide, Nick Caserio, who they wanted back in 2019. So let's get right to the question. Do you think this was a real, legitimate process in the first place?
I think it was predetermined as you sit down and you look at everything. But one thing I will say, and this is what I've been explaining to all of the fans, everybody that were following the movement, we made some noise. We actually sped that process up, to be honest with you, because they felt the heat and they felt the pressure from what we were doing. So they had to make a move really quickly or else it would have got out of hand. Everybody that sent in emails and everybody was screenshotting and realistically, man, I think we touched around 4,000 emails that first day, which was real good, which was really good. So I don't think Caserio was slated to be here until mid-January, which would have given us the opportunity to kind of to put that pressure on him and get me in. And once that would have happened, with all of the emails from everybody sending different things in, and then the numbers from the petitions, they would have had to make a hard decision because it would have been in their faces. But we pressed the envelope. I mean, we pushed it, and they had to make a decision, and they chose to go ahead and go that route, which I understood that's business. You got a lot more of those guys in there that are really familiar with each other, and that's part of what goes on in the NFL today. But we're about to get ready to change that, man. We're about to change it.
Before we go on a little bit further about you specifically, I know you speak to a lot of fans on a daily basis. I mean, and I love that about you, G.
Right.
What do you say to the fans that inexplicably cannot understand why this team and organization is so determined to stay connected to the New England Patriots?
I think there's a level of comfort there. And in that, and in having that level of comfort, there isn't going to be much growth. And that's what I've been explaining to everybody, that this is a business. If you've never been in the NFL or been on the position to be cut due to politics and having to try to pick yourself up and be ready for the next team that may approach you, you wouldn't understand a lot of what goes on, because you have to learn how to take the emotion out of it. And I've always talked about that. And look at, the logic aspect of it. Just because that door closed, we got other teams that we got to talk to, and that's the kind of the situation. But talking to the fans and just educating them on it, because that's been my role, just educating everybody on how this thing works and the politics of it and the dynamic of it. Guys are starting to get it, and they're seeing that when they came together and made that push and help with the push, that dynamic now is in their hands, where if you want to see changes, you'll stop supporting. And it's as simple as that, because even though the record is, 4-12 or whatever the situation is, they still came out on top financially. So once you understand that and how that works and the power of the dollar, you can get some changes. And a lot of people see that now.
Yeah. The Houston Texans are still top 5 in revenue grossing franchises in the NFL, and they were 4-12. They can't spell AFC Championship. They can't spell Super Bowl. But top 5 revenue grossing organizations in the NFL. Cal don't have to put a winner on the field. He just got to keep folks coming.
Yeah, that's it. And that's and I'll quote Shay Khan from Jacksonville. He said, I'm going to paraphrase this deal, but basically the NFL is the only place where you can lose and still have a profit, in revenues. And he understands that. And it's a business. When you really understand what this thing is, it's a recession-proof business, and people are going to support it because they quote unquote need it, right? Yeah. But if you really want to make those adjustments and really see those changes, it takes all of us. It takes this whole entire village. And that's why I wanted them to understand from a fan schematic, if you spent 1 red cent, you are a part of the team.
That's right.
And that's how it works.
You're an investor, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm not tooting my own horn. I promise you I'm not. But it hit me before the news came out. Nobody's been fired. Nobody has parted ways.
Right.
Nobody has been reassigned after an ugly loss, after, the play calling defensively and some of the nobody. And it's like, wait a minute now. Maybe nobody has been gone because they keeping folk.
Right.
Maybe this was not what we thought it was. Maybe they've already decided what they want to do.
Right.
They did it. And guess what? Those people that they brought in like the folks that they have. I wouldn't be surprised if they promote Tim Kelly to head coach. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Anthony Weaver. I wouldn't be surprised if they reassign Romeo Crennel back in the front office. Am I crazy? Talk to me, G.
No, I mean, you with the Texans organization, you have to expect the unexpected a lot of times. And even with that, it's almost, you can almost see how it's going to go, especially with this newest hire and how that looks and where that whole dynamic came from and those types of things. So, and I'm telling all the fans, man, I'm praying that this thing pans out the way that they wanted to in the front office and with ownership, because I don't want to see this team go the way of the Oilers.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work out, man, all of the hard work that guys like myself, guys like Andre Johnson, guys like Chester Pitts, Seth Payne, all these guys that, put our lives on the line to go out there and try to build that foundation, all that goes in vain. And that's something that I don't want to see. But if this project here doesn't work, man, it's going to be rough, man. It's going to be really rough.
Right about that. I feel like the Houston fan base deserves better. They definitely deserve better. Speaking of deserving better, Deshaun Watson put out an interestingly timely tweet after the announcement of Nick Caserio as the new general manager of the Texans. And a couple of days after he tweeted, "We need a culture change."
Right.
And they announced Caserio from New England. And a little bit after that, Deshaun puts out, some things never change.
Yeah.
And somebody jumped on me and said, well, he was talking about Kenosha.
Right.
Might be, but I checked with all my sources inside and outside of his circle, and nobody has clarified on his side that he was talking about Kenosha.
Right.
So it's hurtful to see that brother struggling with, here we go again.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man. I feel bad for the players. I feel bad for the fans. And that's something that I've expressed, because you never want to alienate your fans, or you never want to alienate the players themselves, because they are the engine.
Right.
And if they're in a bad headspace, no matter who you bring in, if it's the same scenario of what they just got finished going through, mentally, they're starting out drained and depleted. And it's unfortunate because it's the same old. And with that being said, that's how the players are feeling. That locker room is like, come on, man, we're going back through this. And that was in regards to the coaching, guys that I looked at. I looked at all these different coaches who were high candidates. And for me, the deciding factor for the guys that I would have brought in were, are they going to motivate me as a player? Are they going to make the hairs on my arm stand up? and give me that feeling of we're going in a different direction. And unfortunately, the guys that they brought in, I watched interviews and I scouted these guys, and I didn't get that feeling. So I'm not sure if those guys are going to be very receptive to it. And also the fans, because you have to have people in there that are going to ignite the city and ignite the organization to go do bigger and better things, man. We're talking championships, not just friendships. And it's unfortunate, bro.
You said a word. We talk championships, not friendships. I got to take a quick break. I want to come back with an article that really didn't get enough shine, in my opinion, but we'll blow it up here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Garrick Jones joining us here on Throwback Thursday. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show.
Last one, Jim.
Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
The lunch break, where sports are the special of the day on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here at it and on it. Garrick Jones here on the show. Former player with the Houston Texans, founder, commissioner of the State's Developmental Football League, or SDFL, and a general manager candidate for the NFL. Article came out that said Texan players are skeptical of Jack Easterby, especially given his role in bringing yet another member of the New England Patriots to the team, Nick Caserio, as general manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say one of those players that's skeptical of Easterby is Deshaun Watson. That's me talking. It was not in the article. They didn't mention his name other than, some of the recent tweets. But the locker room is skeptical of this guy. And this guy is pulling strings, like signing off on the trade of DeAndre Hopkins, like Nick Caserio coming in. Bruh, how do you move forward with that?
You're under contract. That's kind of the deal. Whether you like it or not, you're under contract, right? Now to that point, what's going to happen is, as a player, you're going to want to go out there and you're going to want to try to compete as much as possible in order to be able to maintain your value in the NFL. But because you're under contract, it's a hard deal. These guys are stuck between a rock and a hard place, to be honest with you.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because they have to go to work in these circumstances, in this environment that isn't conducive for anything other than the buddy boy system. And it's unfortunate because that's really prevalent with a lot of teams, and it's all about who you know, resources and relationships. But if it's not the right environment for growth in the right direction, that's a hard pill to swallow every day, man. That's torture. That's like a living hell. I've been in that, where I would go to practice and I knew that the powers that be had it out for me. But because of what I was doing in the city and the type of person I was, I had to learn how to persevere through that. And a lot of these athletes are going to have to go through that. And they've been going through it. And it's a lot of the same. So when you don't make moves and rotate people and let people go and all those different things, and they see that, it's like, what are we playing for? What do we do other than trying to make sure I get out of this contract and I can move on somewhere to a better culture? And it is hard, man. It's hard. I feel sorry. I feel bad for those guys because I've been there and done that, on a couple of teams, and it's rough, man. It takes a toll on you,
Yeah. Garrick Jones, former member of the Houston Texans, founder, commissioner of States Developmental Football League, and general manager candidate in the league. What's going on with G? What do you I know you always got a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Yes, sir.
Bro? What's happening?
Yes, sir. You already know, man. We're active. I'll put it to you like that, man. Okay. Everything I've done with this petition and with this campaign has been seen by all the other teams. So we're very active right now. It's a cool situation to be in because this actually fast-tracked everything. And it's playing chess, and I'm telling everybody that this is chess. It's not checkers. One door may close, but three more might open up, which we have some promising situations, man. And we're going to get the opportunity to sit down with some people who really understand what it was that I was doing and what direction I was coming from with it. True enough, from a selfish standpoint, I mean, I'm here in the city of Houston. I would have loved to be that guy here in Houston, but at the end of the day, it's the same type of mentality as a player. I mean, there's 31 other teams too. So don't get it twisted. This isn't the end of it. This is just the beginning of it, man. And, I wish the Texans luck, and I want them to do what they need to do in order to stick around. But at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I'm not wasting my talents just, sitting here and I'm sulking and all that. We don't do that. There's no victims here. We put the work in, and the work will not be denied. I can guarantee you that.
I'm really trying not to be one of them hard-hitting journalists or what have you, but I'm not new to this, so I'm looking around the league and I'm checking out some open spots.
Yeah.
I see Detroit. I see Jacksonville. I watch this. I see the Jets. I see Carolina. And all of them are kind of open for general manager or vice presidents of, football related operations. And I'm just wondering, inquiring minds want to know, like family, what's up? What's up?
Man, I like the Jacksonville situation, man. That's where I cut my teeth, man. That's where I got my first start. So and then that Atlanta situation looks good. Of course, the Carolina situation looks really good. It's a lot, man. It's open season right now. So, with just as much aggression as I put into this GM situation here in the city, is where we're going with that. But I really like that Jacksonville situation. I like what Mr. Khan is doing out there and how he wants to be involved in the deal. And if I'm able to do some things, man, we may be able to make some history, man, out there. So let's see.
Somebody try to call in and ask you a question. So let me get on here and see this. Y'all do me a favor, behave, man. I think I yesterday, so y'all behave. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who's this? Hello? I done scared them off. Sometimes you got to do that, bro. Exactly. You know what? I lived in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I lived off of Bay Meadows Boulevard. Loved it, bro. Loved it. I could drive to the beach for lunch. Golf course right there. And I was there before Jacksonville Jaguars even existed. And I kept saying, the one thing this city is missing is a professional sports team. And soon after I left, they got the Jaguars. I said, oh, good now. They good. It's a great town. It's good people. You ain't far from Atlanta, some of the other metro areas. It's a good town. So Jacksonville, huh? That would be a nice spot for you saying?
Yeah, man, that wouldn't be a bad one, man. They got a lot of cap room. They got some draft picks. It's a lot of maneuvering room. I can tell you that much to make some big time deals that'll shock the world. So,
Garrick, I have toys up there. I got some toys I can play with up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how, like I said, I like how Mr. Khan is wanting to structure this thing where, you know, the GM and the head coach are going to have say, but he's going to have the final say, and we're going to report to him and talk to him. So there's all kinds of transparency. There's no filters, you know, and it's no backbiting. And I like that. I like that a lot. And I like the fact that, you know, when I first got there, you know, that was my opportunity. I mean, that's where they said, hey, welcome to the NFL, young man. And I loved the city. I loved everything about everything that they had going on at the time. And definitely with them wanting to have an identity, it's the same thing that I was talking about, you know, with the organization here. But the fact that they have a lot more to play with in regards to, you know, possible trades and a few other things like that. It's we on to something, man. So I'm really gonna push that one real hard to see if we can make something happen.
I'm tripping at how you grinning right now. I'm tripping at how you grinning and everything. Like I know you're a happy dude, but I ain't never seen you this happy before.
Yeah, man, it's panning out, man. So if I can do what I need to do, I'm gonna shock the world. I promise you that.
Garrick Jones joining us here on the lunch break, and you know, it would have been a great news story for you to be here in Houston, given that you played there. But like you said, man, they got you out your car.
Yeah,
Jacksonville. They got you when other folks said no. You kept driving across the country, and they got you then. And like you said, it's some stuff to play with, man. How cool is that, man?
Yeah,
man.
Let
me ask you like this: how hard would you work for an organization like that, knowing the nostalgia of it?
Oh man, they're gonna get everything I got. I mean, that's in me. All resources and relationships will be exhausted to make sure that they are a Super Bowl champion. Nothing changes. Like I say, it's just a situation of putting together a championship caliber team and making some significant moves. So, man, I really like the promise of that situation, to be honest with you. It's about being brand new. It's about bringing the right people in that aren't afraid to make the big time decisions. That aren't afraid to do what they need to do in order to make sure we're going to win. And that's teamwork, you know, and that's what this thing is all about. So, you know, we're going to get some information out there to them. We're going to see what we can get done. We're going to push on them a little bit and see how we can get in the mix, because I want to be in the mix with all of the big time guys. I mean, if I say that I'm him, I need to be in that ring with all of them, because I'm going to run some people home. And that's what this thing is about.
I know that's right. Senior Garrick right there with you. Keep it on. Sidney Brown said, wherever you go, I'll be there to support you. Love your style. You know, I got to put you on the spot.
Come on with it.
Jacksonville, y'all don't hold us against him now. This me talking.
Uh-huh.
So you got to pick between Trevor Lawrence and, I don't know, Justin Fields.
Okay.
Who you grabbing?
Okay, let me blow your mind real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to do Trevor Lawrence. All right?
Yeah.
After we get him,
I'm
going to try to trade.
Yep. Hold on, ain't nobody but you and me now. I'll go to commercial. What you say?
Yeah, I'll get Trevor Lawrence, and now we're gonna trade him.
Garrick, are you trading for what? For who? For when?
What city are we in?
We in Houston.
Okay.
You ain't sending them to Houston for no Deshaun Watson.
All right. They got a lot that they can play with.
Man, hold on. I don't even want to sit down no more.
They got a lot.
Genius.
Listen, they got a lot that they can play with. That's what I'm saying. So you got to understand the dynamic of this. This is the art of war, right? If I get into that situation, I have everything that the Houston Texans want.
What are you, bruh? They sleeping on you. You need to tuck them in, bruh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, hold on. We got calls. They stacked up. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Keith Hennig.
What's
Keith.
going on? Hennig, caller of the year 2020. What's happening, bro?
Oh, it's all good, AJ. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. Garrick's great. I know you got some questions, but what's up?
Well, these questions are for Garrick Jones.
Yeah.
Hey, Garrick.
Hey, Keith, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thank you. You doing all right?
Oh man, I'm making it, man. I woke up this morning, so I'm good, brother.
Well, let me tell you something. I am extremely proud of you. That is the best grassroots campaign since Beto, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. Have you considered, and I don't know your political leanings, but have you ever considered going into politics?
You know, I've been approached a few times about it, and I've thought about it, you know, at certain points. But I think with where I am in life right now, I want to do the NFL thing one more time, and then after that, Lord willing, you know, I'll probably jump into that arena, man. To be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Because there are a couple of senators here in Texas that need to be replaced, and you would be the guy.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's kind of like a bucket list type of situation with me, man. I'm very systematic, and I put my mind to this deal here, and once we get that solidified and knocked out, you know, we'll definitely look at that, man, and I definitely have you on my team. I can promise you that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm all in.
Yes.
I would like to make one suggestion. You don't have to go too far from home.
Right.
Jerry Jones needs to go away,
Yeah.
and he needs a general manager in a big way. Would you consider it?
I know Jerry pretty well, being that I grew up a mile from where he grew up. So we've had dealings because he wanted me to go to Arkansas, University of Arkansas, but I ended up going to Arkansas State. So we know each other. I would definitely, I wouldn't rule it out, to be honest with you, because they're definitely in need as well. And Jerry is at a point where he needs to, you know, make another move. And I don't think that he has anybody that he would really say, all right, this is the guy. But yeah, no, I wouldn't rule that out. But, you know, my thing is we got some things on the table, man. And if we're able to make some things happen, I think we're going to have the pick of the litter, to be honest with you. People are going to be knocking down our doors.
Now, that's what I like to hear. No matter where you go, I will have a new second favorite team.
There you go.
I'm happy with my GM in Tampa, but wherever you go, I'll be following you like a shadow, and I wish you the best success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, AJ.
No problem, Keith. You're a great dude, man. Appreciate you. Call of the year 2020, Keith Hennig. All right, we got one more call, Garrick. Let me jump on this one real quick.
Yeah.
Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Brother AJ, Mr. Garrick Jones, Ferdinand.
What's up, call of the year 2017? What's happening, bro?
Look, AJ, I guess this is the day that we're going to beat up on Garrick Jones today.
Uh-oh. You ain't gonna beat up on
him.
Dude, now, don't beat up on him too much.
Watch this, Garrick. Watch this. You don't deserve to be here.
Okay.
What you have is special. Wherever you reside, that's what God wants you to be. I applaud you what you were doing for the last couple of months. But you were trying to go to a team that's not ready for change. They're caught up in what they've been doing for decades. They can't see clearly. And so I applaud you what you're doing. Continue to do what you're doing, but always remember you have something special. And when God will place you, you'll be able to help some people who want to be helped. We wouldn't want you here with the Texans when you're flourishing like a bed of roses and you end up smelling like onions.
Wow.
So you got a bunch of people that support what you do. We're going to be behind you 100%. AJ, no, what I learned, you, AJ, friend, you're mine. So continue to be a blessing, not only to you and your family, but the peers and the people around you. And that's going to soar like an eagle. God can use people like you. And you're doing what you're doing because he sent people like yourself to be a blessing to others. So I applaud you. Keep doing what you're doing. Somebody gonna hear what you're doing. God has an open door waiting for you to walk in. So God bless you. Love you guys, and y'all keep doing hard work.
Ferdinand, we appreciate you, man. Those powerful words right there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Wow. That was strong, bro. And real though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta be, man. I love it. I love it.
Man, hold on, man. Danny D, he and I went to high school together in New Orleans. Danny D said, y'all remember that Doritos commercial? He said, tell Garrick G, keep his hands off my mama and off my quarterback.
I got to have it, man. I got to listen. Check this out. Listen to me. Like I said, they have what the Texans want. And if you have a Trevor Lawrence in the situation, it's some openings. Some openings. Yeah. So I don't know.
Gee, I gotta take one more break, man. Let me take this last break, bro. I gotta come back to you because you done shocked the world, bro. I'm telling you are, bro. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Say what?
Right, exactly. All right,
we're gonna be back with Garrick Jones right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. This segment brought to you by the Care Team. If you don't have medical insurance and you need it, you need to listen up because the Care Team has something for you. All right, we're gonna play a couple commercials and then you'll hear from the Care Team on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
I'm Marcus Scribner. The way we treat others affects us all, and that includes the way we treat animals. Cruel treatment of animals overseas led to the pandemic crisis, killing 1 million people worldwide. Environmental destruction, pollution, and poaching have killed endangered wild species. Our world today is a poorer place for people to live and inhumane for both people and animals. To fight back, American Humane created a 10-point plan to help animals, people, and the world we share. From ending the dog and cat meat trade to universal humane standards for farms, zoos, entertainment, and animal transport. Together we can make a difference. Join the fight for our animal friends. Go to AmericanHumane.org today and sign our new deal for animals. For a kinder, safer, and healthier world for all of us.
All right, we'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
There are over 13 million people without medical insurance that should qualify for plans starting at $0 to $50 per month. Care Team has helped thousands of people just like you. This is AJ Jones, and KYOK listeners, I want you to call now and see what you qualify for at 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377 or visit careteamcares.com.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
The lunch break, where sports are the special of the day on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. NBC Sports is asking the question, will Deshaun Watson ask for a trade? That just popped up on my deal.
You good, man?
Look, I want to hear what you got to say because, bro, you on a whole nother level, man. I feel like we're in the master's class right now of GMing right now.
Man, I'll tell you like this. If you don't have a general manager that has been a former player, he will not know how these players are going to react to certain situations.
Right.
And that's what I would do if I was a player. You haven't listened to anything that I've said. You haven't helped me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I carried the team the way I have this last season. Even though it's a 4-12 situation, my stats were off the charts. So it's about creating this culture that you guys say that we're going to have. And now it's a lot of the same. So from a mental standpoint, as a player, as a businessman, and as understanding that I am a brand within a brand, I only have a small window in order to be able to win a Super Bowl. And if you are not putting me in position to do that, there's no reason for me to be here. Of course, it's a major payday, but at the end of the day, it's about being able to do what you were put on this earth to do as an athlete, in that space. It's hard for general managers to come in and understand what these guys are going through when they never gone through it themselves at the elite level.
It's funny you say that. Garrick Jones, former member of the Houston Texans, founder commissioner of the SDFL, and general manager candidate in the league. It almost feels like sometimes the players seem like they're just numbers. They're just commodities. They're just, all right, here's this guy. He costs us this much. We're getting this much out of him, but then we can have that guy. So we don't mind interchanging the two. But like you said, these are real people. These have real feelings and real emotions and real families and real hopes and real dreams. Right. And if you've never been that person,
right,
how can you even conceive them as something more than what's affecting your bottom line?
Right. And it's unfortunate because every year there's a new crop. So players to these organizations and to people are expendable. And once you're educated on what is going on with these players, you find out very quickly that we are real people with real problems and trying to find real solutions like everybody else. So if you take guys and trade them away, and I'm expected to, perform at this high level, you've just taken a piece of my family away. Man. So that right there in itself is detrimental to somebody's mental capacity. So if you're not taking care of my mental health the same way we're going out here and practicing every day on a physical standpoint, you've done me a disservice. So there again, like I say, I don't know, what's going on in Deshaun's head, but I do. And that's just for me being a player. But if I were him, I definitely look at that aspect and see what are the possibilities. And like I said earlier, where I am and what I'm trying to do. If I am a GM somewhere, we are going to be the organization that players want to come to. Period.
Yeah. And that's a good thing right there. All right. There was a question that came in earlier. I didn't know if I was going to ask it or not because you know me, I'm not going to let anybody insult you or your intelligence or what have you.
Oh, no. We're good. We're good.
I'm going to reframe the question a little bit. So let's say Garrick doesn't get the call at GM, but a college team calls and says, Garrick, will you come be our head coach? Does Garrick wait on the GM job or does Garrick take the head coaching job on a college level?
No, I'm not doing a head coaching job.
Okay.
That's and I'll tell you why. Being a head coach, there's two different stresses with this situation. For the simple fact that you are in charge of that aspect of the team, right? But with my background in business and contract negotiations and acquisitions, that's the space that I want to be in because I want to be able to be that individual that is a headhunter in that space and bring another headhunter in for the head coaching position. Because if I can't touch those frames, if I can't actually put myself in that framework, I've done myself a disservice because I have to put together a team under that is going to mirror me. So ultimately, if I'm in one spot, there's only so much that I can do because my hands are tied. So as a general manager, the team, the football operations, they will mirror me and they will match everything that I do. So we're going to have a stronger unit. If I'm just the head coach, not to say anything is wrong with being a head coach,
Gotcha.
There's only so much that I can do at that capacity.
Yeah, and let me tell you what I did. So somebody was trying to say that you needed to prove yourself
Of course.
in college or in another league and what have you. I'm thinking to myself, you haven't been paying attention because this brother has started a league. He is the commissioner and founder of a league where guys have put their trust in him. And just because you late to the party don't mean he got to prove himself to you.
Right.
He doesn't prove himself. And that's why we're talking about Jacksonville. We're talking about Carolina. We're talking about Detroit and the Jets and those openings and Atlanta. That's why we're talking about those things.
Yeah, brother, that you get that all the time. And once people and I challenge people to do their due diligence. And not only do I challenge them, I hold them accountable because there's only so much I'm going to feed you. Like I'm not going to go down my record, 1,000 times when I have 11 months of content in one spot for you to go and do your due diligence. So I tell people, take you 3 or 4 days and learn about me, then come back and then we'll have an intelligent conversation about it. Because if I'm just in the comments section, we're not going to do that. That's too much of a waste of my time because I am proven this isn't potential. Don't get that twisted, not one bit. You put me in the room. I promise I'm going to eat and I'm going to do what I need to do. But I tell all these fans, you want an organization, you want them to mirror me because I will not be outworked. The same way I made it the first time is the same way we're going to make it the second time. And we're going to make the history that other people read about. So you want somebody like me in that building, I promise you.
Hey, I'm looking at CBS Sports has put out their ranking of coaching candidates for various teams.
Right.
Now, for some reason, I can only go to Jacksonville. My attention is on Jacksonville. Number 1 candidate, Urban Meyer. Number 2, Robert Saleh. And number 3, Eric Bieniemy. And then when I go up to the Texans, their list is as follows. It is Brian Daboll. Daves, Jim Caldwell, and Joe Brady.
Okay.
Any accuracy? If you're the man making those decisions, would there be any accuracy in those predictions?
They're pretty spot on. You got Urban Meyer, you got Robert Saleh, you got Eric Bieniemy. Those guys are on my list, except for Herb. I didn't know he wanted to really come back because of his health issues and those types of things, but he's a hell of a coach.
Let me tell you something. I will get over my health issues for $12 million a season.
Oh, of course.
I work through some things for $12 million a season.
Of course. No, I get that. I definitely get that. So he is a motivator. He's a master motivator. So those 3 guys, those 3 guys are on the list. Brian Daboll, definite. He's done what he needs to do, and he's a sharp offensive mind. And just watching him and having the opportunity to be around some of these guys, a lot of people don't understand. Like the NFL is like the smallest group that you could ever be a part of. Like from a fraternal standpoint, I know all these guys. And that's what people, once they really start listening to me and understand that I've been around these guys in some way, shape, form, or fashion at some point in my life, like, these people and for them to motivate me when I'm somewhat of a motivator, we have nothing but magic at that point. So as far as Joe Brady, when I listened to him and I scouted all these guys, I watched about, I want to say maybe close to 30 or 40 hours of just different clips and those types of things on these guys. Joe, he was straightforward. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys where if I'm in that meeting room and I'm in training camp, I'm probably gonna zone off a little bit on him, to be honest with you. And I'm trying to find these guys who will be able to captivate these athletes and get their full attention and be able to command their attention. And he's a ways off from that. And that's what this thing, that's what my whole list is about.
Man, Garrick, tell everybody, excuse me, where they can find you and follow you right here on the lunch break, bro.
Man, it's still hashtag GJ for GM, man. That isn't going to change. That just search that out. You will find all of my posts. You'll be able to find me on all the social media platforms. You can find me on LinkedIn, everything. I'm still tagging that situation because we are going to be a GM somewhere. And that's the beautiful thing about me, man. Hey, like I said earlier, man, I'll be down for about 5 or 10 minutes, and that's it. We got work to do. And that's what we're doing today.
I love it, bro. I love it. So just FYI, when you get the GM job at, where you go get the GM job, there are not enough of us who are the voice of said franchises. So if you're looking for somebody, don't think I won't travel. Don't think I won't travel.
Man, you in the mix, man. And quiet is kept. I've been constructing a team of different fans, of different people that have been sharing the word, hashtagging the GJ for GM. I'm able to track that. So from an analytical standpoint, when we sit down and I'm talking to these owners, I'm like, listen, this is potential dollar amounts, guys. And these people have started following this movement. So we got all bases covered, man. I'm checking all the boxes. I'm not worried about anything. You just get me in the room. We're gonna have us a good time, man, and we're gonna make some stuff happen.
Get him in the room. Get him in the room. Get Garrick Jones in the room, brother. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your creativity, man. You blew me away today. And we've been doing this for a minute, man. We've been doing this since back in the days on Faith and Sports.
Right.
You blew me away today, man, and I love it. I love it.
I appreciate you, man. I thank you for the friendship, man. I thank you for the brotherhood. I just thank you, man. I appreciate everybody that's listening, all of the followers. Man, we're gonna have a good time with this thing. We're gonna make this history, man, and we're gonna get some Super Bowls wherever I am, man.
Let's get the chips, brother. Let's get the chips. Garrick Jones, y'all. Y'all be sure to follow him. Hashtag GJ4GM. Get those shirts too. Get those shirts. All right, y'all. Hey, man, we'll talk to you soon, G.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all. Listen, I got to get Sybil Wilkes on here with her latest update on COVID-19, and then we'll get in the second hour of this thing right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Here's Sybil Wilkes.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today.
Appreciate you, G.
Lawmakers
all right, brother. Appreciate you. We'll talk later, man.
Okay, brother.
The Electoral College votes in the 2020 presidential election. The Electoral College certification vote was paused when protesters breached security of the U.S. Capitol. The House chamber doors were closed and locked to protect lawmakers as protesters outnumbered U.S. Capitol Police. At least one woman who was shot during the ordeal reportedly has died. The Democrats have succeeded in securing a slim majority in the U.S. Senate with the second Georgia runoff election win by John Ossoff over Republican David Perdue Wednesday afternoon. The announcement was made as the country watched the chaotic and violent attack on the U.S. Capitol, turning the Senate majority over to the Democrats. This completes the Democratic trifecta: the presidency, the U.S. House, and now the United States Senate. What you need to know is brought to you by Black Voters Matter. Visit blackvotersmatterfund.org for more information. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
Let's get it. Lunch break crew. What's up with it?
I'm telling you, man, that interview just got me inspired like crazy. Talk about just, man, it's energy like that I got to surround myself with in 2021. I need that energy around me in 2021. So I'm just saying. All right, let's get the second hour started right here on the lunch break.
Legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house.
talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this hollering, we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much pride from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't call when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go, by God. Let's go. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Woo, man, I'm trying to tell you, some interviews are so good, you just don't want them to be over. Like, I'm still stuck in that connection with my guy, Garrick Jones, hashtag GJ, the number 4 GM. I mean it. I should have worn my shirt today. I'm wearing it tomorrow. You better believe I'm wearing it tomorrow. But anyway, man, that right there inspired me. I love that kind of creativity. I love it. And again, I lived in Jacksonville, great town. Great town. I was there before the Jacksonville Jaguars got there. And to be there with some excitement, with Garrick running the show and, them making some power moves like bringing in Trevor Lawrence and flipping him to the Houston Texans in return for Deshaun Watson and whatever else they can get back. Oh, man. Do you hear me? I'd be running around Jacksonville like I was born there. I would be running around Jacksonville like I was born there. Garrick Jones is one of those good brothers you can get behind. Anything he's doing, I'm about it. Anything he's doing, I'm about it. All right. Speaking of doing and being about it, I didn't get a chance to announce the winner of last week's or week 17's Lunch Break Weekly, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge and naming the top six. And man, it was close. Y'all went in this season. So let me go ahead and get to the winner of the weekly award. So honorable mentions going out to George Griffin. He had a 9-7 week. Honorable mention to Big Mike. Honorable mention to Jessica and Mark. Keith Hennick had a much better week. Alexis was 10-6. Amber was 11-5. Ferdinand 11-5. And man, we had some 12-4s. Milo 12-4. Keith Hennick 12-4. Who else? Merrick Mad Dog was 12-4. But 12-4 didn't get it done. We had some 13-3s. Keisha Kelly was 13-3. Big Time Floyd was 13-3. Erica was 13-3. So let's go to the tiebreaker. And see who won the final week of the regular season on the Lunch Break Weekly, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. Who won out of the 13-3s? It doesn't matter who won out of the 13-3s because we had a 14-2. Chi-Town was 14-2 and took home the final week's $50. So Chi-Town, send me that Cash App again. I don't know what happened. I think I deleted like all your messages after the last one that you sent me, including your Cash App. Hit me up again, sir, please. All right, Chi-Town got the last $50 of the week. Now, it is down to these six who will have a chance to compete for $500. All right, y'all ready? At number 6. Now, I ain't gonna do it like that. At number 1, Ferdinand, 174 wins. Tied with Ferdinand, Milo. So that's number 1 and number 1A. That was a 2. Number 3, Big Time Floyd. Big Time Floyd came in the number 3 spot. At number 4, this week's winner, Chi-Town. At number 5, Keisha Kelly. And at number 6 by a very slim margin, just beat out one of my guys. I mean, just beat him out. Just edged him by 1. George Griffin takes that number 6 spot, just beating out Big Mike by 1. At number 7, Big Mike. Number 8, Amber. Number 9, Erica. Number 10, Jessica and Mark. Keith Hennick, from your good week, brother, you jumped all the way up to number 11. But it's the top 6 that will go on and compete for $500. And they are as follows: Ferdinand, Milo, Big Time Floyd, Chi-Town, Keisha Kelly, and George Griffin. Man, Big Mike, that close, bro. George Griffin, a great way to finish up. I thought George Griffin was going to slide out of there because he had a tough week, 9-7. But he got the win. All right, so here's what's got to happen. The games are on Saturday. The games are on Saturday. Saturday at 12:05. I need the top 6 to send me their picks by no later than Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. I've got to have your picks. You can text me, AJ. You can text me 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005, or you can email them, aj@kyoksports.com. I got to have them by 10 a.m. Central. I'm trying to see where everybody is. Yep, everybody's on the Central time. No, Keisha Kelly's on the East Coast. Keisha Kelly, I got to have them by 11 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock my time. Everybody else, 10 a.m. Central. Not 10:01, not 10:02, not 10:03. 10 a.m. 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005, or email aj@kyoksports.com. Pick all the games, the winners, and then use the Sunday night game, the 7:15 game with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns as the tiebreaker. I've got to have the final score, 29-15, 33-7, 24-22. Give me the winner and the final score of that game. And I got to have them all, not part of your picks, all of your picks, by 10 a.m. on Saturday. Okay? All right. And we will see who's going to win $500. Now, we're not doing a weekly award, so you won't, whoever, comes out on top week 1, it's going to be a culmination of whoever has the most wins all the way through the Super Bowl. All the way through the Super Bowl. It's after the Super Bowl that we will announce and award the winner of the $500. Last year, it was Chi-Town that won. Chi-Town, I ought to disqualify you, Doc, because I never got a picture. I never got a sound bite. I never got nothing. And I know you out there because you text me at random times. Chi-Town work a crazy schedule. That dude will text me at all kinds of crazy times. Crazy. So Chi-Town, if we don't get some kind of thank you for last year, you don't get it this year. I'll put it in my pocket. I give it to one of my grandchildren, not children, cheering. All right, y'all. It's on and popping. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we also did not get to play Stats Battle. We did not get to play Stats Battle yesterday because they acted like a fool over there in Washington, D.C. So just like the Congress people refuse to be denied, I refuse to be denied. We're going to play Stats Battle when we come back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
My name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like a gazillion dollars, and they didn't have a gazillion dollars. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they are able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680. I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
Now let's get back to the lunch break with AJ on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. What a day it was yesterday, man. I mean, I'm scratching my head. Folks are still sending me videos and audio and all kinds of stuff. And, but anyway, I'm not going to be held back into yesterday. We are getting ready to get it in with our hot new game called Stats Battle. And are y'all ready? Because this is how we're going to do it, like this.
Stats on stats, got players making raps. Play the game, get it right, your pockets gon' be fat. On the lunch break, stats game, baby. Game on. Let's get it.
Man, I love it. We got a hot new drop for Stats Battle, and that's courtesy of Lady L. Michelle. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, Lady L. Michelle. I mean, uber talented. You hug her and talent just go ooze out all over you. I like it. I ought to play it again. But we got a limited amount of time. All right, so y'all know how it goes. I am going to read you the stats from player A and player B, and you vote on who you want, player A and player B. And then I am going to tell you who player A and player B is after we find out who wins the vote. All right, here we go. We're dealing with NFL players. And we're dealing with running backs. And This particular NFL player, on his best year, player A, on his best year, ran for 126 yards per game. 126 yards per game on his best season. Player B, on his best season, ran for 118 yards per season. Who do you want, player A or player B? You can call me, 281-453-1000. You can text me, 832-403-5005, or you can hit me up right here on social media. Who do you want, player A, who ran for, did I do them backwards? I think I did them backwards. Yeah, player A ran for 118. No, I got them backwards. I'm sorry. Y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. Player A, best season, 126 yards per season. 126 yards per season. Player B, 118 yards per season. Who do you want, A or B? 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 All right, here we go. Let me see. Let me go to my text line. Okay, somebody has texted in. Ooh, why is that up? All right. All right. Al Gary, what's up, bro? Al Gary said, give me player A. Give me player A for Al Gary. All right, here we go. 713-525 said, give me player A. Let's keep them going. Let's keep them going. AG, what's going on, AG? Said, give me player A. All right, let's see who else we got here. Let's see who else we got here. 832-432 said, give them player A. Keith Hennick said, give him player B. Okay. It's 4-1 right now. 4-1 right now. All right, let's get another one in here. Let's get another one in here. All right, 346-419. 316-419 said, you be trying to trick people. Give me player B. All right, ain't nobody trying to trick nobody. The stats are what the stats are. 832-703 said, give me player B. How y'all gonna go with the person that has fewer yards? Napoleon said, give him player B. All right, it's 4-4. It's 4-4. Let's go with the second stat. Player A, in his best season, averaged 5.4 yards per carry. 5.4 yards per carry. Player B, in his best season, averaged 5.1 yards per carry. 5.1 yards per carry. You want player A or player B? Player A or player B? 5.4 versus 5.1. 5.4 versus 5.1. Sydney, I see your vote in there for player B. Let me go back to the text messages. 832-403-5005. 832-403-5005. Yards per carry. 5.4 for player A. 5.1 for player B. 5.4 for player 1. 5.1 for player B. Sydney Brown says, on number 2, give her A. Darren said, what's up, man? I'm starting to like this little game right here. He said, give him player B on the first one and player A on the second one. It's 6-6. It's 6-6. All right, let me get another one. I don't know where this is, but I like that y'all tune in. It's 337-0 643. 337-643 said give them player B on both of them. All right, so that's 8-6. 8-6. 5.1 for player A. 5.4 for player A, and 5.1 for player B. 5.1 versus 5.4. 281-769 said give them player A for both of them. Wow. 8-8. 8-8. This is a close one. 832-358 said give them player B on both. So that's 10-8. 10-8. 10-8. All right, let me go to the next stat. It's 10-8 right now. Wow. Player A's longest touchdown run in their career was 99 yards. Player B's longest touchdown run was 88 yards. 99 yards versus 88 yards. Who do you want, player A or player B? 99 yards, longest run for player A. 88 yards, longest touchdown run for player B. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me, 832-403-5005. Area code 409-353 said give them player A on both of them. Okay, so you must be on 1 and 2 still. So that's 10-10. God, this is close. Y'all are killing me. 832-894 said give them player A. That 99 yards is serious. All right, we got to get him. Come on, we got to get him. My next guess is in. 832-323 said give them player A. It is 12-10 right now. Doing stats battle. Football players, running back. Let me give you the categories, Chris, and you tell me what you want. Player A, best season, they average 126 yards per game. Player B, best season, average 118 per game. Player A, average 5.4 yards per carry. Player B, 5.1. Player A, 99 yards is the longest touchdown run they had. Player B, 88 yards. Who you want, A or B?
I feel like I'm coming in late on this, AJ. Because I'd ask more questions like how old are they, all that kind of stuff. Give me player B. Player B.
All right. Player B is taking a close lead. All right, we'll announce the winner when we come back after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems are not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. called Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
Stats on stats, got players making raps. Play the game, get it right, your pockets gon' be fat on the lunch break. Stats game, baby.
That's how we doing it. We call it Stats Battle right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Somebody can win $50 right now. I'm going to make it $50 right now if you can tell me either player A or player B. Either player A or player B. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. The winner today was player A, 16-13. 16-13. Player A over player B. You just got to tell me who either one of them were. And you've got 10, 9, 8, 7, because I don't want them Googling it. 6,
Smart.
4, 3, 2, 1. Nobody wins this week. All right, we're gonna throw that in the pot for next week. Player A was none other than Derrick Henry, running back for the Tennessee Titans. Best season, average 128 yards, 126 yards per game. That was this year. Average 5.4 yards a carry. Longest touchdown run came in 2018, 99 yards. Player B, not to be outdone, another Alabama product, none other than Sean Alexander. Sean Alexander, who best season, averaged 118 yards per game, 5.1 yards per carry, and 88 yards was his longest touchdown run. Two good ones right there. Chris.
What's up, brother?
No, what's up with you? I mean, seriously. What's up, bro? Because James Harden, under 20 points for the last 2 games. Is he injured? Or is something else going on?
He said he's not injured. I mean, he wouldn't tell us. That hasn't changed, even though we're doing Zoom sessions now. And if anyone has seen the post-game videos, whatever, James talking 2 minutes, that's how he talked before. When we were in locker room, he talked about 2 minutes, a minute and a half. We were lucky to get a 3-minute talk out of him, so that was a miracle. But he says he's not hurt. Coach Silas said last night, the teams, Mavs and Pacers, defended him a little different, double teams, traps, things like that. So he's taking less shots. He had 12 assists last night, so he's, passing the ball. So he's just not jacking him up right now. And folks can argue, because the Rockets have lost the last 2 games to the Mavs and the Pacers, they want James shooting 30 times a game now, if that means victories. So far, he has done that these last 2. We'll see what they do Friday against Orlando. I talked to one of my colleagues last night, one of the young Lions who covers the Rockets and Texans. He was like, James wants out of here, man. He's checking out. It's just a matter of time. So initially I thought about that and I kind of agreed with him, but then I was like, this is James. He's not talkative after games, win or lose. Coach Silas kind of took a hit for him. You could look at it. Coach Silas is getting bothered by the losses. He's trying to maintain an even keel. He's frustrated. Season's 6 games in, 2-4, 5 different starting lineups already because of COVID, because of injuries. He's frustrated. Coach Silas said the fourth quarter was on him last night because he tried to do more isolation to control tempo. He didn't want the Pacers to run up and down the floor. So he's trying to take some of the heat, but doing isolations, that's James Harden.
Right.
That's where John Wall excel. But then at the same time, Coach Silas said that he still likes to play faster and wants more ball movement. When the ball touches, when more folks touch the ball, it's better for everybody. We got to find that balance. You can't have it both ways. You can't have everybody touch the ball a lot and play isolation. So that's where the Rockets are, trying to find that medium balance and get wins.
Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review, joining us here on the lunch break, talking Houston Rockets right now. Rockets have lost 2 in a row. Last night's loss to the Pacers, 114-107. It just felt flat. It felt flat. You didn't see and feel that same kind of energy that you felt out of some of the previous games, even when they were losses. Did you feel that, or was it something else that you noticed in yesterday's loss?
They were flat. And yesterday was rough on everybody. I don't know, they said, James said specifically that he didn't see what happened in D.C. yesterday. John Wall, was asked about he saw, John's from the D.C. area, played there a long time.
Right.
So he had more comments on it, and he was not happy about it. He was disappointed in what happened. So, some players, if they did hear about it via text or whatever, that could have affected them. The bench specifically did not bring the energy that they had in the previous 5 games. So that was an issue that was noticeable. So, who's to say what impacted them more? They just didn't come out with their fire, and they had a chance. They were up 107-106, but Indy scored the last 8 points to win the game.
Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review, joining us here on the show. Chris, what are you more concerned about, the defensive end or the offensive end for the Rockets?
Defense.
Yeah.
Because, we all, once it got to get healthy, you got to get healthy, stay healthy. The firepower, I think, is there. Christian Wood, John Wall, Boogie Cousins, Ben McLemore, James Harden. There's enough offensive weapons there. The defense is my issue. I'm a defensive guy. I go back a long, long time for me. So that's why I always hang my hat on defense, because to me, defense is constant. Defense travels. That's I sound like a coach right there, but defense travels. And I think that's the biggest issue. But that happens when you don't have the chemistry. When you're dealing with 5 different lineups in 6 games, you don't have that time. And practice time right now, they're playing like every team in the NBA. They're playing every other day. They travel back from Indy today here. No practice, media session, media availability, and they get ready for Orlando. Shoot-arounds on days of games have become practices for the Rockets, and I'm assuming other teams as well. So it's difficult when you have a lot of new faces to get defenses down pat, because good defense, good/great defense, is really predicated on communication and trust. Knowing where your teammates are supposed to be, that they're going to be there, based on traps, double teams, rotations, all those things. The Rockets' best defense so far is their switching defense from last year, because many of them are used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not used to the new defenses that Coach Silas is trying to implement this year. So that is part of it as well.
We got Chris Gardner joining us from Houston Round Ball Review. I agree with you on the defense versus the offense. You threw in another word in there, chemistry. How concerned are you about the chemistry now? 6 games in, 66 left to go.
I'm not concerned right now. If they are healthy and get the roster back healthy, and then have a chance to practice and everybody play, then we can look at it and see if chemistry is still an issue. No Daniel Whitehouse with back problems. Last night, no C. Wood with a knee issue. Ben McLemore and KJ Martin they're back with the team, but they haven't been cleared and not up to speed yet with the conditioning to resume and play in games. So McLemore will be part of the rotation. That his 3-point shot is needed, is missed. The Rockets aren't taking as many threes so far right now. So if and when they do become whole, if they have issues with chemistry, then I'll be more concerned. Right now, I'm not concerned with it.
There was an article that came out earlier the week that said that contenders are becoming desperate for the Harden move increasingly. Are you seeing that, or was that just clickbait? Because I definitely clicked on it.
It's clickbait. I don't know how you can be desperate 6 to 8 games into the season. So later on this month, get in February, if contending team is still having problems, yeah, they'll get desperate. Yeah, no question about it. But 6-8 games in, no. If a team is desperate now, they should have been desperate before the season started.
Chris Gardner breaking it down for us on the lunch break. Obviously, Christian Wood is the bright spot of the team so far. I mean, he's really playing with a lot of passion. He's also playing with a lot of wisdom, almost like he's been doing this before. Was he that guy up in Detroit? We just didn't know about it?
He was that guy the last 15 games after the Drummond deal. He became that guy. He was put into the starting lineup. He played well, doubles. But every so often, you can see his defense. He doesn't talk enough on defense. He's similar to Clint Capella was when he was here with the Rockets. The Rockets, the 5 spot, the defensive guy is important to talk to the guards on the perimeter, guards and wings on the perimeter. Where's your help? Where's the rotation?
Right.
Those things like that. Christian Wood is not great at that yet. And you hear PJ and the vets like PJ, Eric Gordon, and Harden saying they need Christian to become better at that. And once he does that, then I think that'll be a big key in helping the defense get better.
Yeah, definitely. We got Chris Gardner joining us here, Houston Round Ball Review. An article I did not like. One of the local people basically said Boogie Cousins with the same old, because he got ejected from the game the other night. We're 6 games in. What the heck has Boogie Cousins done that's the same old that he's done anywhere else? And, oh, yeah, by the way, what are you basing that on from somewhere else? You got any concerns about Boogie Cousins from the other night's ejection?
No. His problem is reputation, and the reputation hangs with him. That's going to hang with him forever as long as he's in the NBA, right or wrong. Why he got ejected on that second technical was nothing, in my opinion.
Right.
I think he thought he was fouled on the bucket, and I think he did what one of those that guys do, and one, where's the foul, come on man kind of things. Looking at reading his lips, I don't think he even used any profanity.
I didn't see any signs of the words. There's a couple of words that when you say them, you're going to continue.
Right.
Yeah, right. I didn't see any signs of that. So,
and the what do we call it? The referee talked to the pool reporter after the game, was asked about it, and he said that Cousins used the terminology that the ref used is what the officials use by the letter of the law in the NBA ref rule book. Showing up the official. That was what he said basically. So based on that explanation, he can justify giving him the technical. Boogie Cousins showed up the ref.
Yeah. I one thing I don't like is sensitive refs. Like, bro, you in the wrong.
Who does? Yeah. Well, yeah. Why are you in the league if you're gonna be sensitive?
Profession, if you're sensitive. So here's one thing that I did kind of say, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. This is where Stephen Silas has to realize that he's got to defend his player. And I felt like Stephen defended him to a point, but given the impact that had on the game, he needed to be adjusting the refs, if you will, for the rest of that game for future calls against Boogie Cousins.
I could see that. I mean, right after it, he went after that ref. He and the ref was having heated discussions where Stephen was yelling and ref was listening. But you could be right. Stephen could be 6 games into his head coaching career, learning how to do that, learning how to rub the refs' egos and try to get called later on down the line. Protect the players, protect his players better. I could see that. Yeah.
And no disrespect to Stephen Silas, because obviously that young man's been doing this since 1999 at a very young age. So, I don't ever want to disrespect another brother like that. He's earned this job. He wasn't given the job just because he was black. So,
right.
Lot of respect for Stephen Silas. But I remember Pat Riley still bringing up calls from games ago. When he's gotten that referee crew again, it's like, see, that's what I was talking about when you called that on my guy the other week.
Well, one of the best at it was Big Chief Triangle, Phil Jackson.
Right.
Phil Jackson was a master at playing the refs. He would put it out there in the press, in the media before the game. Sir, this team does things like this. We'll see how the refs call it tonight. We'll see how they're going to call things. And then after the game, well, it's part of learning how to be a head coach in pro sports. So we'll see if Stephen develops that skill.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple of other teams in the league that are starting to wake up, if you will. And then we got to talk about the U of H thing. Got to talk about U of H when we come back with Chris Gardner right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. If you want to get a question or two in, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. It is the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
As the coronavirus is ravaging our community, make sure you have health insurance. Let Care Team Insurance assist you with our free medical enrollment assistance program. Call now and see what you qualify for at 281-990-1377. There are over 13 million people without insurance that should qualify for plans starting at $0 to only $50 per month. Care Team has helped thousands of people just like you by providing free enrollment assistance. Don't be taken advantage of by people selling bad or fake insurance. Make sure you have health insurance. Let Care Team Insurance assist you. This is AJ Jones, and KYOK listeners, I want you to call now and see what you qualify for. Plans starting at $0 to only $50 per month at 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377. Or visit careteamcares.com.
Hi, I'm Marcus Scribner. The way we treat others affects us all, and that includes the way we treat animals. Cruel treatment of animals overseas led to the pandemic crisis, killing 1 million people worldwide. Environmental destruction, pollution, and poaching have killed endangered wild species. Our world today is a poorer place for people to live and inhumane for both people and animals. To fight back, American Humane created a 10-point plan to help animals, people, and the world we share. From ending the dog and cat meat trade to universal humane standards for farms, zoos, entertainment, and animal transport. Together we can make a difference. Join the fight for our animal friends. Go to AmericanHumane.org today and sign our new deal for animals. For a kinder, safer, and healthier world for all of us.
I have respect for guys. I have respect for guys because of what they've done, but at no point in my career will I ever back down.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get out here without giving my man his intro. He ain't apologizing for nothing.
I'm not, but I got to talk about my man, too.
Chris Gardner doing it his way over at the Houston Round Ball Review.
I've never tried to make people mad. I've never tried to make people look bad. Sometimes things happen.
Things happen sometimes. But what does he do? Dunking on everybody over at the Houston Round Ball Review. It's Chris Gardner joining us here, as always, on our Thursday, our Throwback Thursday. You said you got to talk about what, Chris? What happened? Let me get out of that sunlight. What happened, Chris?
About Blake.
What's wrong with Blake?
He and I are the same now. We're not dunking on anybody. Blake's time my man looks washed up. He's not attacking the basket. He's selling for threes too much. He looks like me on defense now. He's a liability on defense. Teams just going to attack him. He's got this season and one more left on that fat contract. He's not playing well enough to be traded and get something good back for him. What I think Detroit would prefer.
Chris, you're breaking my heart, bro.
I am too. I'm a Pistons fan, so seeing him struggle and not get to the line, when he does, he misses. Most of his shots now are threes. It's just, and his defense is just, it's a rumor right now. He's a turnstile on defense. It's really bad. It's sad to watch too, because when he was dunking on folks and he was that dude athletically, he's far from that now because of injuries and surgeries and everything he's had.
Yeah, and that's the sad part about it, man. Father Time is undefeated, and those injuries add tolls, man. Those injuries add up, and I hate to see that, man. Especially a guy with a game that powerful, kind of like Sean Kemp. Back in the day, when you see guys that powerful and they can't do what they normally do, it's hard to go from real big power like that to finesse.
And he is, and he was concussed. Yeah. So he's now at the point where he'd rather not drive to the basket, take the contact in the paint. Mm-hmm. He used to be one of those guys who would dish it out and enjoy dishing out the contact to get the bucket and the free throw.
Yeah.
He's avoiding all that now. And becoming a 3-point shooter is acceptable, but his defense is unacceptable. He would have problems defending me and you. And I'm not knocking your game, but my game is not like it used to be.
No, bro. I could talk a good game, but right now playing was a whole nother deal. I know this is off topic, but man, still one of the worst interviews I've ever had in my life was with Blake Griffin. I mean, dude, I thought I was talking to vanilla ice cream. Like, it was just like so
plain and dry. Oh yeah,
dude, it was like the desert. It's I started asking him about his mama or something. Like, can you give me something about something?
He's gotten better over the years. I don't know if that's because of being a vet. By the time when Detroit came to town to face the Rockets and got post game, he was more talkative. Seeing the post games after Piston games, being the go-to guy or one of them on the squad. He's answered the questions and he puts thought into them. It's not like it used to be. I remember some of those interviews back in the day. And it was like, dude, what? Whoa.
And I mean, by far, there was no close second to the worst interviews ever. I mean, seriously. And I was like, come on, bro. Like, for real, give me something. He just smiled.
It's not even cliches. It was, just dry. There's nothing you could use. Yeah.
I mean, nothing. All right, so let's look at this real quick, man. There's a couple of teams that are waking up. More importantly, a couple of players that's waking up. Are they going to leave Steph Curry alone, or are they going to keep messing with him till he starts dropping 60-plus on a bunch of folks?
Haters going to hate. And some of them are in local media who are Rocket fans. Not media, they're Rocket fans. Yeah. Harden fans.
Yeah.
And Steph is a hell of a shooter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best shooters in NBA history. Mm-hmm. It's not Steph's fault Clay is hurt.
Right.
It's not Steph's fault KD left. Steph is still that same guy dropping threes from 35 feet. Still that same guy swishing. He doesn't have as much help. Right. That ain't his fault.
Yep.
He's now carrying the team because he's capable of carrying a team.
Yeah.
So he's still that guy. Let's not forget that.
I had to check myself because I said Steph couldn't carry a team. And then when I saw what he's done, like, they've climbed up. It's way early. They've climbed up to the number 6 spot. But that's Steph right there. That's Steph.
Yeah.
So
he didn't forget how to shoot.
Right.
let's say that right now. He can still shoot. He can still dribble. Got good handles. All those things. So, and if he gets James Wiseman, young fella continues to play well, and Steph can carry its squad. Not going to be an elite championship caliber team, nothing like that. But Steph can carry this squad long enough.
Yeah. To one of those top 8 spots, I believe. I believe that.
Yeah.
Let me look at this other team. I see number 1 team in the West. Who is that? The Phoenix Suns. Are they for real?
That's the team that played well in the bubble and is carrying over and added Chris Paul to the team that played well in the bubble. So, for real, as making the playoffs? Yes. They are the anti-Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings are just dysfunction galore.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, Monty Williams, the players play. They love playing for him. They respect him. They trust everything that he says and all those great coaching platitudes. And they got talent.
Yeah, they truly
Devin Booker and CP.
Yep.
That's a heck of a backcourt, man.
Yep. And then, of course, there's this team over there in L.A. I think they're called the Lakers. Look up, and they're tied for first, 6-2.
They'll be here Sunday and Tuesday. for I guess Rockets homestand. You know, part of the try to reduce travel costs and all those things. So they'll be here for 2 games in a row facing the Rockets. Ooh. And because they're Sunday, Tuesday, LeBron should play in both of them. So it's not like you miss one because of rest, things like that. I'm assuming. I don't know their schedule if they have a game Saturday. But the Rockets got some tough games coming up.
Yeah.
And they need to get healthy and get whole first and see how they can weather this storm.
Yeah. If I look over in the East, of course, you've got Philadelphia that has lost one whole game. They that good, bro?
Daryl Morey brought in shooters. It's interesting how Daryl Morey left the Rockets in shambles. Rafael Stone brought in talent, and I think once that team is healthy, it could be one of the best teams Harden played for in Houston. But Daryl went to the Sixers and brought in shooters, and that's what Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid need, was shooters surrounding them. And Tobias Harris is great in his role.
Yeah,
he is a highly paid number 3 option, but he is very good as a 3rd option.
And he really has stepped up his aggression. Like something has clicked for him to where he's forcing some action.
And that's really part of what he needed to do.
Yeah.
He's got the skills. He can shoot inside, outside, got good enough handles. The aggression, being that guy, sometimes take over. You got to do it sometimes. You got to be the one that's, I want the ball, give me the ball and get out the way. I'll get it done.
Right. Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review. Before we go, man, what's up? What's happening at U of H?
The Caleb Mills situation was interesting. He was hurt, injured at both ankles, but he was one of the last 2 players to report to Houston. He stayed in Carolina with his family because of COVID. He didn't get to Houston until August. And I hope you listened to my 109. I hope you had a chance to listen to it when I talked about it. But some of the things, Caleb, months ago, last year, colleague Jeff Goodman, mentioned Caleb as one of those guys from a lower level. U of H is not Duke, Kentucky, Blue Bloods.
Right.
Could be one of those programs that could lose a player like Caleb Mills. And he named Caleb in the article. And this is a year ago, basically.
Yeah, a year ago, right.
Because of the immediate transfer rule in college basketball. So Goodman is national, got contacts all over the place. So for him to mention Caleb's name then, when I read the article then, it occurred to me, it's like, I never thought about Caleb leaving. So when I read it then, I was like, yeah, he could leave. Mm-hmm. So that's a year ago, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, when Caleb announced he was, the initial statement on Sunday was personal issues, going to step away from the team. I was like, okay, COVID, his family did have some COVID issues, step away from U of H. But then when they made it official and that he was transferring, I was like, okay, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, you want to do what's best for you. And if you don't want to be at U of H, okay, don't be at U of H.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on you.
Yeah.
But I'll be like Daryl Morey said, when Daryl said he wanted to step away for a year to be with his family. And then weeks later, he went to the Sixers.
Yeah.
Caleb said he wants to be close to his family. Okay, so sign with a school close to your family. Don't sign with Oregon.
Right.
Okay, don't sign with somebody out on the West Coast, because if you do, then I'm going to blast you.
There you go. They also lost a skill player on the women's side. What was the story behind that?
Oh, that's news to me, brother. Who's that?
Did I read that wrong? I thought one of the young ladies entered the transfer portal on the women's side of U of H. I could be wrong.
No, you may not be wrong. I've been doing everything else with Rockets mainly. So mainly Rockets and the U of H fellas. So I'm not doubting you. I'm just asking you, who could it be?
I don't have it right in front of me. I knew you would have it, but it's okay. We'll come back to it when we get back. But man, listen, I am so appreciative of what you do, how you do it, and on the level of expertise that you do it. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and check out Houston Round Ball Review and that YouTube channel, brother, because you got me working on my YouTube channel.
Do so, brother. I encourage all my people to do it. My YouTube channel, it is Houston Round Ball Review. Website, HoustonRoundBallReview.com. Instagram is the HR Review. So I do everything. Real quick, the NCAA is, some folks talking about, will it be a tournament? Yes, there's going to be a tournament. Dan Gavitt, the VP of basketball for the NCAA, made it clear earlier this week The NCAA announced Indianapolis will be the main host of the 67 games for the men's tournament. Some of the games will be at Butler or schools around near Indy. They announced more protocols for that for far as testing. The announcement for the women's tournament will be forthcoming this month. Trust me on that. I know that it will be announced later, more details this month about the women's Final Four in San Antonio. So those things are going to happen. The tournament will happen. But yes, HoustonRoundballReview.com. I try to do what I can when I can. Check it out. Thank you for all the love that people have shown and are showing me. HoustonRoundballReview.com. Houston Roundball Review, local name, national perspective.
I like that too. I like that. And I like how you have that on there. I'm like, brother, you better come on. Chris, you have done a phenomenal job as always, man. And looking forward to having you back soon. You notice what I didn't ask you. I'm not going to ask you.
I haven't done it yet. I've heard from her, though. I have heard from her, yes.
Brother, you're going to have to give us weekly updates. You're going to have to give us weekly updates because inquiring minds want to know.
And when I have more to share, I will share. But yes, I have heard from her.
Chris Gardner, y'all. Chris Gardner. Y'all follow him up, Houston Roundball Review. And I definitely follow that YouTube page. Great stuff, great content, just a great dude. We appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you this time next week, Chris.
Thank you, man. Take care.
All right. I mean it. That's good stuff right there. That is good stuff. All right, let's get ready to go. Sybil Wilkes is going to give us our COVID-19 update. Much better day than this time yesterday, man. I'm all in the sun, but yesterday it was just craziness. So let's focus on the positive. Let's move forward from here. I mean it when I say let's not be divided. Let's be united. I'm not worried about your political views. We can have different political views. But when we're doing what we saw yesterday, and I don't want to hear about Black Lives Matter and Antifa, you got to own your own stuff. And if you're okay with what you saw yesterday on the nation's capital, in the nation's buildings, and put other people's lives at risk to the point where deadly force had to be used, I don't know if we're the same. And I ain't talking about Democrat and Republican. Let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and do all that kind of stuff. And when you see racism, kill it. Not the person, the racism. All right, let's go on out with Sybil Wilkes. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
It's with what you need to know today. The Democrats have succeeded in securing a slim majority in the United States Senate, with the second Georgia runoff election won by Jon Ossoff over Republican David Perdue. As the country watched the chaotic and violent attack on the U.S. Capitol, the announcement was made Wednesday afternoon calling the election for Jon Ossoff and turning the Senate majority over to Democrats. What you need to know is brought to you by Black Voters Matter. Visit blackvotersmatterfund.org for more information. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. I sincerely hope y'all enjoyed today's show. A lot of fun, man. I can't thank y'all enough for tuning in and interacting and what have you. Garrick Jones, what a great interview. Chris Gardner, man, that dude is the truth. I'm telling you, not many people know that basketball and interactions like that like he does. And I really, really appreciate him calling us friends and coming and dropping in on the show the way he does. Y'all follow him up, Houston Roundball Review. Do that on YouTube, Instagram. Follow him, and definitely follow that YouTube page. And then, man, thank y'all for your phone calls because it's been tough. It's been tough. But we're going to find a way to get through this together. If we don't do it like this, but we do it like this, and hang on to the love, all right? Y'all take care. Be safe out there. Watch your back. Check on each other. And we'll talk.